Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. We're looking at something today that sounds incredibly simple on the surface, but it actually holds immense, quietly revolutionary power. We're talking about the practice of praying for children by name, and we're not just looking at this as some fleeting thought, right? We're diving into the truly transformative power of intercession. It's time to look at what the source material calls the furnace of intercession.
So let me hit you with a question right off the bat. Can simply thinking of a total stranger actually rewire your mind? Just think about that for a second. We're framing this practice today not just as a traditional spiritual habit, but as a literal physical mental transformation. Like what is actually happening inside our heads when we take our deepest focus and empathy and direct it towards someone we have never even met.
Well, let's get into it. Section 1. A quiet revolution. The psychological shift of intercession.
To kick things off, we really need to nail down our main definition so we're all on exactly the same page. The source material defines intercession in a super specific way. It's the power of a prayer said over a child's name, particularly a child you have never met. Notice how targeted that is? We're not talking about some vague wish for world peace or just hoping things get better for kids in general. No, this is a deliberate action. You are attaching your intense focus to one specific name, bringing a real, individual identity right to the front of your mind.
And that brings us to this absolutely massive psychological claim from our source. Doing this literally rewires you, literally. As you focus on these connections, you're actually carving out brand new mental pathways. You're altering your own internal default settings. Because by focusing so hard on someone way outside your own immediate circle, you're basically training your brain to expand its capacity to care.
And you know the immediate result of that rewiring? It completely breaks down the wall between them and us, which is a total game changer. I mean, think about it. So often in our day-to-day lives, especially when we're just doom scrolling the news, children in need are just them. They're a statistic, they feel so far away. But the source text argues that intercession totally dismantles that division. It pulls you right out of being a passive observer and throws you into a place of profound, deeply connected empathy. Once you speak a name, there is no more them. They become part of your us.
Which brings us to Section 2, the furnace of action, redefining the purpose of prayer.
Now, we've got to acknowledge the elephant in the room here. The natural skepticism a lot of people have. Is prayer just a substitute for doing something real? Look, it's a completely fair question. In a world full of so many urgent physical needs, it's really easy to view prayer as a cop-out, like a way to feel like you're helping without actually lifting a finger. Honestly, the phrase thoughts and prayers has kind of become a cynical cliche. But actually, that skepticism sets up the exact misconception our source brilliantly tears down. Check this out. This contrasts the passive substitute for action mentality, that whole "I prayed about it, so I'm off the hook" vibe, with what the source calls the furnace of action. Now, a furnace is not passive. No way. It's roaring, it's active, it's a driving engine of momentum. The text is literally urging us to completely flip how we understand the very act of interceding. So here is the main takeaway. This kind of prayer doesn't replace action. It is the furnace that makes action sustainable. It doesn't get you off the hook for giving, volunteering, or advocating. Instead, it's the vital fuel that stops you from burning out. Because let's be real, activism is exhausting. The sheer scale of global suffering can just numb you over time. But when you are constantly rewiring your empathy, when you are actively breaking down that us versus them wall through this targeted intercession, you keep the furnace burning. You're generating the heat you need to keep taking real action over the long haul.
All right, Section 3, practical steps to intercede, bringing the revolution into daily life.
I want you to lock in on this number right here, 5. The source grounds us with this specific number because, let's face it, trying to wrap your head around helping millions of kids is just paralyzing. It's way too big. But 5 is super approachable. By narrowing your focus to just 5 individuals, this huge, overwhelming task suddenly becomes something you can easily manage in your daily routine. So, where are you going to find these 5 names? The source gives us 3 great practical places to look right now. First, right in your own neighborhood. Could be a kid down the street or someone from a local community center. Second, from the news. So next time you're reading a tragic headline, don't just scroll past it. Pause, find a specific name in that article and pull it right out of the digital noise. And third, from a sponsorship list. There are so many charities with lists of real kids waiting for support. These names are literally all around us, just waiting to be brought across that wall from them to us. Okay, so here is the exact game plan. 3 really straightforward steps from our source. Step 1.
Write down 5 names. Actually physically write them down. Don't just keep them floating in your head to make it real. Step 2. Pray specifically over each of those names today. Start that mental rewiring process right now. Actually say their names out loud. And step 3. Commit to pray for one child every single day this month. This is how you light the furnace, guys. You spread it out, you build a habit, and you move past a one-time emotional reaction to build a sustainable engine for lasting action.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this really profound thought from the ancient text of Jeremiah. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. It's a beautiful meditation on the inherent, absolute value of every single human life. When you step up to intercede, you are recognizing a deep, pre-existing worth in a child you haven't even met. You're saying they are known, they matter, and they are 100% worthy of your time, your focus, and your action. So let me leave you with this. Who are the 5 names you're going to write down today, and how is stoking this furnace ultimately going to transform you?